in recent months we've seen a significant pattern of behavior from the court system that is enough to just get you to wonder, are these people acting appropriately? And is our republic as a nation under challenge? Because, the president had full legal rights, according to statute, to make his decisions to protect us on the basis of national security and immigration laws. There were public laws that allow him to do that. And so, on the basis of nothing, the courts just decided to challenge him on that. He had the full legal right to make those decisions in the interest to protect us as the President of the United States and Commander-in-Chief. Then we have the DACA program. 90% of the people who are DACA are from Mexico and Central America. They have the legal right under international law to return to their homelands. They can do that. Cross the Mexican border, go home. You have the legal right to do that. We cannot verify, friends. We don't know, these people could say, well, our parents left us here. Well, how do we know that? They could have just come across the border and just claimed that. So, and it's something that we don't need to worry about because only 10% of the people who, signed up for DACA were not from Central America, were not from Mexico. They were from other parts of the world. So it's not really a major issue. It's just 90% of the people that signed up come from Mexico and Central America. And, they have to understand, it's like the police officer pulls somebody over and, you tell them they can't drive. Well, then you say, well, I'm paying taxes. You're saying I don't have a right to drive. Well, yeah, In this country, we pay taxes. In this country, we pay for the rights of citizenship. And that doesn't mean everybody has a right to come here. Okay? Just at the same thing that when you get pulled over for a traffic ticket, there are rules that apply to that. Just as we have immigration laws that are rules that apply to whether or not you can immigrate to our country. So these folks from Mexico need to understand that there are a lot of issues that come across that border, and we have to get that under control. And, the illegal immigration issue, we're going to have to start saying no. And until we do that, then they're not going to understand it, that we're going to take it seriously. And it's time that we do. And until we put our foot down on that, they're just going to keep thinking, well, I'll do it anyway. So, then we have the issue with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Donald Trump pardons him. And what does the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals do? They appoint a special prosecutor to challenge that. No legal or constitutional basis to do that. None whatsoever to do that. So there's a number of issues that are, really beginning to boil here. North Carolina. Look what's happened in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. If this is not enough to get you wondering, the courts have literally, during election years, gone to the extreme of, and of course people filed lawsuits, I understand that, to require that district lines be redrawn on the basis that gerrymandering had occurred. Well, this is during an election year, folks. And, could people be disenfranchised of the right to vote? How fair is it that people went in and invested in these districts? They went through and they took time to spend money to campaign, and now all of a sudden the courts come in and say, well, we want to redraw the district lines. And now all of the people who had been involved in the community lobbying for a particular candidate, and now all of a sudden that candidate is not going to be leading them anymore. During an election year, of all things. So the courts should have refused to even hear these cases, and they just, it's gotten to a point now where we have to start saying, our courts are getting a little bit out of hand. And it's not just these issues, it's just a number of issues. It's immigration, it's this challenging Donald Trump, and the marriage question, and it's like this in-your-face stuff. And they need to understand that they derive their power from the consent of the governed. And they just don't seem to care about that anymore.